Obviously a good win. Last time in this building, just a devastating loss. And we just got back to work. We had some early morning practices all week. Credit to our guys for getting up and just understanding that we need to work. We need to get better. Clearly the best part of the game was to be able to play the bench. And, a lot of new guys there that got some very, very valuable minutes. So, I don't want to move on from New Mexico State. I want them to remember it. I don't want to forget about it, and I want them to motivate us to be better, especially in this building, because our fans deserve that. So we'll go back to work tomorrow and prepare for a really, really good VCU team.
So we asked Philip about this past week and how unfun you were to be around, I'm sure, and he said 7 a.m.s. He's not a morning person. So then I asked him kind of what's the balance going forward, though? Do they still need the 7 a.m. practices to keep them motivated like this, or do you kind of back off a little bit?
It's a good question. I think it's harder and harder now because of the portal to understand your team right away, unless you have a lot of returners. And this team, I think, needs me to be all over them way more than any team that I've had since I've been here. And I'm plenty capable of doing it. I go back to the old FIU days, the early Minnesota days, and I'm fine with that. This team needs that. They need somebody all over them with every little thing, because with this team, you give them an inch, they want to take a mile. Not in a malicious way by any means, but they just need a kick in the butt, and I'm more than happy to do it. So we'll see. I don't know if we need to go at 7 a.m. all the time, but the reason I went at 7 a.m. honestly was I wanted us to feel that pain, feel being uncomfortable a little bit. So now that we're done with classes, we'll kind of see. But yes, I need to do a better job of being all over them. I didn't necessarily need that with Jalen House. I didn't need that with Mash. But I think this team needs it. And I'm all for it. Be fine. I'll be cranky all year. It's okay.
And then changing the starting lineup, need to ask, True Washington wasn't starting for the first time, I believe, all year. What was the decision?
It's nothing to do with True, CJ, Braden, everything to do with Phillip. I'm trying to get him going. I think our best game of the year was UCLA, and Phillip was a key part of that starting. I kind of wrestled with CJ and True. It didn't really matter to me. But I think I know what I have with Braden. I think I know what I have with True, and I know what I have with CJ. Phillip is the one I think that's got the most room to grow and the most upside. So I just went with that.
Coach, you just speak more to the performance of tonight. Obviously a slow start. How'd you like the way you guys finished? And just kind of speak on that.
Yeah, won by, a lot. So, after 40 minutes, I it's 3-point line. Did a better job in the second half. And, like I said, to get some of those bench guys those minutes and to get our guys some rest so that they're fresh, because VCU is, I don't know what they are analytically or whatever, but they're picked to win their league. Realistically, it's probably the third best game in our non-conference schedule from a quality win opportunity. So we got to be ready to go.
Yeah, and just speak more to the bench, too, getting a lot of minutes tonight. How beneficial is that for you guys?
It was great. I needed to play Jovan more last game, especially with Stav clearly struggling to shoot the basketball. So that was good. We've had such a challenging traveling all over schedule and this and that. So to be able to get home, play a game like this, and then to see what I got from some of those other guys was great. So, Braden's consistently knocking down shots in a big way. Jovan, it was great to see him. I really like his upside. It's just been hard to find some minutes, but I got to find some more minutes for him. I think Atiki, I'm not sure if we beat New Mexico State with Atiki, but, man, it really helps that energy off the bench. He plays really, really hard.
Are you in a position to say that Jovan is the new point guard after scoring the way he did tonight?
Yeah, he was really good. He can learn a lot from Mustafa. They're similar in a lot of ways from a skill set standpoint. He's just young, and we've had some really hard games schedule-wise. But, I don't recruit a lot of high school kids. I want 1 or 2 a year. We're really, really excited about the ones we got coming in next year. But we want to be invested in those guys, because you guys have heard the million stories of Portal and this and that, but hopefully those guys, Cade and Jovan, see that they're going to have a big role in the future here.
What is an angry Richard Pitino like if at the 7 a.m. practices? Do you have to really change gears and become a different person to get their attention?
You know, the more I do this, I try very hard not to be angry. Because one, I don't want to be miserable. Like, life's too short. I'm a basketball coach. What do I have to be miserable about? I want to help these guys. But as I said earlier, these guys need a little kick in the butt a lot more than any team I've been around. And again, it doesn't mean they're bad kids by any means, but they want to negotiate their way out of a lot of things. And just like I have to do with my 3 little kids, I got to put my foot down and do a little better job there. So it is what it is. I mean, there's a million different ways to do it. You don't need to yell and scream, but I do think that seeing this team at 11 games in, we got to be all over these guys a little bit more. So we got to do a better job there as a coaching staff.
Can you speak more to deciphering what your coaching style needs to be for a specific team on a year-to-year basis? What does that look like? Is it just seeing how they respond to different styles of coaching?
Well, we have new jobs. This is nothing like what I started with. So every team is going to be different, and continuity and consistency is going to be really, really hard to establish every year. It's just, this team would look different if Mash stayed and JT Thomas stayed. They didn't, and that's fine. I'm not complaining about it. But you're going to have a revolving door of players that none of us like, but this is the reality of it. And I think that you have to feel every team out. They're all going to be different. Last year's team won 26 games. I didn't need to be that way. So we're all, and you try to do it over the summer. Totally different. The summer is low stress. There's not as much playing time to figure out and so on. So, I've been doing, this is year 13 of being a head coach, but it certainly feels different with the new guys all the time. But I think every coach is dealing with this.
Just since it was such a key stat last game, you guys are 26 of 33 on layups tonight, 79%. Is that kind of like free throws? Did you harp on them on like we need to make layups?
Yeah.
Or did you stay away from it?
No, I harped on layups are different than free throws. No, I was all over them about it, working on it. It's not okay to miss layups, guys. Like, free throws are different. Free throws are a little bit mental. Layups are a toughness thing. Get in there and go make the layup. Like we had 2 games in a row, San Jose and New Mexico State, of under 50% from layups. Like, the NBA is trying to get above 70% from layups. You guys are good players. Do better. I don't know. So we worked on it, and they were better today for sure.
And then two really quick ones, and I'm done. Tiki's that blob you guys have with the Tiki. You guys have done it like 3 times that same play, right? I mean, it's for the most part.
2 different ones, but yeah. Yeah, he's just such a good athlete. He is as good of a lob threat as I've ever coached. And
then Donovan, I know you love questions like this, but Donovan wore long sleeves. First time all season. Is there a reason? Is he cold out there? What's going on? Why is Donovan wearing a long sleeve T-shirt all of a sudden?
I don't know. No, honestly, I actually, it's funny. The more I do it, the more superstitious I get. And I'm coming into the New Mexico State game, and all of a sudden Nelly walks down and he's shaved his head, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? Like, what are you doing? Not why we lost. And then I walked down today, and Donovan's got a long sleeve shirt on, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? What's going on? So I don't know why. Maybe he was cold. I don't know. I asked one of the assistants. He said, well, he wanted it to feel like practice. I don't think he wears a long sleeve shirt in practice. So I have no idea. When I worked for Billy Donovan, we used to sit around in these meetings all the time, and he'd be like, I just want to know what Chandler Parsons or Kenny Boynton or, are thinking. And I used to always say, Coach, you'd be really disappointed if you knew what they were thinking. So I don't know why they're doing any of the things they're doing. Just play hard and continue to play the way you're playing.
Did Nelly tell you about the hair, though?
No, that was like a – that was –
since then, do you know why you cut his hair since then?
I do. It's a personal thing for Nelly, but yeah, I do.
Coach, obviously you just mentioned VCU might be the 3rd toughest opponent for your non-conference schedule. Just give us a little breakdown of that matchup.
I don't know much about them. I know they're playing right now. Are they winning?
one possession game half.
Yeah. So I know they're picked to win the Atlantic 10. Shoga obviously was a really, really good player at Utah State. Grateful that Coach Odom was willing to play the game. To start a home and home like this is really, really good. So, you know, I haven't watched much of them. I mean, I'll dive into it tonight and get to work tomorrow. But it's a team, I think when I checked, they were in the 40s in Ken Palm. You know, so we got to have it. I know it's you know, it's the holidays and everything, but we need a packed house and we need to deliver better in front of the packed house.
Do you have any thoughts on the football hire?
I don't know him. You know, I trust Fernando and his staff did an amazing job of vetting him. You know, I've seen what he did at Idaho. I watched a little bit. When I saw on Twitter, I went to dinner with my wife and son last night, and I saw on Twitter that he was in the mix and the game was on the TV. You know, so I know what he's done. And you know, the biggest thing with any of these coaches, because you hate obviously seeing coaches leave or get fired or whatever, but with any job, the support that they get is going to be the key. For us in basketball, for him in football, and I know our administration understands that. You know, our fan base is so far ahead of everything else. And if he is supported, if we are supported, he'll do great. You know, so looking forward to meeting him, his family. He's a Wisconsin guy, I think. We didn't like Wisconsin when I was at Minnesota, so I'll have to get over that. But I know he'll do great, and he'll have my support.